Nas. Director, you are invited to the podium.
Good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us today. Before I go to today's statement, let me just make a brief comment on what we all, or what we'll consider an evolving story to do with the Metro TV today. The facts are yet to fully be established, as far as I know. But I just want to take the opportunity to articulate the MPP's default position and solidarity with the media and our support for the media. And we hope that the police will look in the matter and establish what the issues are and address it appropriately if there is anything in there that infringes upon the rights of the journalists or the right to freedom of speech, then appropriate steps would be taken or should be taken to address it. But just to be on record that the New Patriotic Party supports the media and would not condone anything that stifles or silences the media. Then again, I said the facts of this matter is not known. And as a developing story, we just want to issue our position and solidarity with the media, with Metro TV as well. I hear there's some comments about sound. Can you hear me okay? We're good now? It is 11 days before the election on December 7th. Everything shows, ladies and gentlemen, that the New Patriotic Party's candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, will win a first-round victory. We in the MPP are humbled by this widespread embrace of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's bold solutions as the best way forward for Ghana. We entreat voters nationwide to turn out in large numbers to give Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the MPP the mandate to implement the policies we have proposed in our bold solutions for job and business. Today's briefing comprises 5 themes. 1, economic recovery and growth, educational skills and development, agricultural development, social interventions, and access to healthcare. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been described variously, but most importantly as a generational thinker and a doer. We have all observed how he has distinguished himself as the vice president in the last 8 years. That is why, as a vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has led over 30 projects which has been implemented successfully. And chief among these projects are the National Identification System, which is a Ghana card. This afternoon, I think much later yesterday, as I was having a conversation with some friends of mine who were telling me about how Nigeria is also venturing into the national identification card in the mold of what we have done here in Ghana. Mobile money payment interoperability, the medical drone system or the medical drone service, the National Health Insurance app, and the digitized motor and insurance database, and the Ghana.gov platform. Very recently, I hear also that the United Kingdom is also experimenting with a medical drone service, which we in Ghana has been implementing, which has been working for Ghanaians since 2018, 2019, thereabout. Tells you that we are doing something right in Ghana, and Dr. Bawumia is leading that charge for Ghana. Through these remarkable initiatives, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia demonstrates his leadership and understanding of global trends and how to ensure Ghana stays competitive. The MPP's 2024 manifesto, reflecting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's vision, outlines a thorough strategy to sustain Ghana's economy, improve social welfare, and set the stage for sustainable development. Here are some key highlights of Dr. Bawumia's vision for Ghana's next chapter, which is the NPP's manifesto for the 2024 election. Economic recovery and growth policies. Dr. Bawumia's economic blueprint is designed to stabilize the city, attract investment, and foster economic growth. He outlines a comprehensive, detailed components of the economic recovery, and the growth policies. 1, digital economy and innovation. Expanding digital infrastructure to promote a tech-driven economy is the cornerstone of his vision. Dr. Bawumia emphasizes initiatives like e-government services, online commerce, and ICT training to boost Ghana's competitive edge. The Ghana card system will be further integrated to strengthen financial inclusion, transparency, and the delivery of government services for Ghanaians. The plan will expand digital platforms to increase revenue mobilization and transparency while minimizing corruption. The proposal to abolish, ladies and gentlemen, abolish taxes on digital payments, such as the e-levy, aims to encourage a cashless economy, fostering efficiency and financial inclusion. B, tax reform for business growth. The Bawumia plan proposes a robust mechanism to stabilize the economy. The gold purchase program would address underlying issues like currency depreciation to lower the cost of living for Ghanaians. Closely associated with the currency depreciation is import. The Bawumia plan will escalate the implementation of the 1D, 1F initiative, which is a significant undertaking to promote import substitution. The plan to introduce a flat rate tax regime and a historic tax amnesty for businesses and individuals. The flat rate tax code would increase domestic revenue mobilization through enhanced compliance and an expanded pool of taxpayers. The tax amnesty will stimulate business reinvestment, which would in turn drive production and create meaningful jobs for Ghana's youth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bawumia plan would simplify the tax code and VAT, making compliance more accessible, thus increasing revenue. D, public-private participation, that's PPP. Dr. Bawumia proposes increasing the use of PPPs for large-scale infrastructure projects such as transportation, energy, and housing. This approach is intended to leverage private sector resources to extend the reach of the government's annual capital expenditure budget to do more for Ghanaians. The plan will make PPPs integral to delivering infrastructure, better managing fiscal policy, and attracting foreign direct investments. And this would ensure productivity will increase the ability of the government to meet the varying needs of Ghanaians and will accelerate development for Ghanaians. E, export diversification and industrialization. The plan will promote non-traditional exports and develop local industries to reduce export dependency and strengthen the cedi against the dollar. Building on the One District, One Factory initiative, Dr. Bawumia's plan aims to foster industrial growth by creating district-level factories to what has been created already or has been established under His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to continue to add value to raw materials, particularly in agro-processing and other export-driven industries. F, support for SMEs and local businesses. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's plan includes creating an SME bank to address financing needs, harmonizing port charges, and introducing tax incentives for Ghanaian startups. A favorable tax regime and a simplified process aim to empower small businesses to thrive. A shift in electricity tariff is proposed, where commercial rates will be equal or lower than residential rates, supporting industries and businesses to boost productivity. The second theme that we want to talk about today is education and skills development policies in our manifesto. To align education with the needs of the jobs market and the general direction of the economy, Dr. Bawumia, in his vision, proposed the following. Continuation of the free SHS policy. The free SHS policy has expanded access to education for generations of Ghanaians and many more to come by eliminating the cost barrier that hitherto had excluded many thousands, if not millions, from accessing secondary education. Technical and vocational training. TVET institutions have been revamped to meet the demands of industrialization and address unemployment through practical skills training. And this, I want to add here, is also part of the free SHS. So it's not only grammar school, but technical vocational training is part of the free senior high school policy. And Ghanaian children or students who are participating in this policy are being built and enhanced for the future jobs market. Coding and robotics in schools. Bawumia plans to integrate technology education into the free SHS curriculum to prepare students for the digital economy. This plan underscores his vision of preparing the Ghanaian youth for the demand of the global digital economy. Mahama's tenure, ladies and gentlemen, lacked similar forward-looking educational reforms, leaving significant gaps in technological adoption and skill development in our system. Entrepreneurship training. Establishing skill-building programs for the youth to foster innovation and create sustainable jobs. Bawumia's educational policy, which emphasizes entrepreneurship and skills training, aligns education with economic empowerment and promotes innovation and self-reliance. Former President John Dramani Mahama's proposal do not address youth unemployment through targeted education and training reforms. The third theme, agriculture policies for development. Dr. Bawumia envisions a modernized agricultural sector to improve food security and rural livelihoods. Expansion of irrigation infrastructure. Building large-scale irrigation projects to support all-year farming. The Bawumia administration will invest massively in irrigation expansion programs to manage and rehabilitate existing systems and improve access to mechanized farming, mechanized farming to boost productivity and promote commercial farming in Ghana. A key component is soil fertility initiative, implementing soil enhancement programs to boost crop yields and productivity. And this will ensure profitability, especially for rural small-scale farmers, smallholder farmers, and our usual rural farmers would increase their profitability and ultimately will improve the quality of rural life. Mechanization support, providing farmers with affordable access to modern farming equipment to increase their efficiency and productivity. Agro-processing industries. Promoting the establishment of processing industries to add value to agricultural products for local consumption and export. Emphasis will be placed on empowering small-scale and women farmers with better access to credit, insurance, and training in modern agricultural practices. One of the key things that we'll see disappear is under Bawumia administration would be the perennial glut in production, where we see a lot of tomatoes, we see a lot of watermelons and other fruits that are left to spoil. The intensification of the one district, one factory agenda and the particular focus on agro-processing will ensure that all these produce that are produced yearly are leveraged and are processed for domestic use and for export. Food security and price stability, and all of us are concerned about that. Inflation recently, we all are thankful that it's come down from a very high 54.1 in 2022. Today it's come down considerably and it's trending down. The hope is that it will continue to come down. And this have not come down just because they wanted to, but they've come down because specific policy regimes are put in place to ensure that food, which is a key driver in the computation of the inflation measure, is actually dealt with, and we are trending at the point where these will continue to come down and food prices will be affordable and low for Ghanaians. The Bawumia plan will finance farmers to expand food production, processing, and storage, stabilize food prices, and ensure a steady supply in the market by working with the Development Bank of Ghana and other financial platforms. The fourth theme is social development policies. Recognizing the economic hardship faced by many Ghanaians, Dr. Bawumia proposes pragmatic measures to alleviate poverty and improve living standards. And most of you are aware, under a Bawumia administration, more resources will be allocated to the National Rental Assistance Program, which currently supports a significant number of Ghanaians, especially young people, who are starting up in life to afford accommodation in big cities and towns. That will be intensified and that access will be brought. And coupled with some strategic investment to boost our housing stock, we'll be in a position to overall lower the cost of accommodation and access to it. There's also one of the key issues here is energy subsidy. One of the key factors in terms of cost is cost of energy. Reducing electricity costs through VAT exemption for households and promoting solar alternatives to bring down costs. Let me just pause here briefly to let you know one of the reasons that we started a bit late was I was out there trying to appreciate how Ghanaians are embracing the electronic vehicle or the electronic bus public transport system that Dr. Bawumia promises in the manifesto, but yet was commissioned today. Driving from the airport, I saw the bus on the streets and how Ghanaians were enchanted by it. This is, ladies and gentlemen, a fulfillment of a promise that was supposed to start from 2025. For me, the takeaway from that commissioning today is the fact that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is committed, and everything he's saying he believes can be done and will be done. And that, for me, for those who are listening and those who have seen the bus, it is a testament that our choice is clear. Our choice of who we bring in to lead Ghana here on is very clear, and we cannot equivocate about it. We cannot wonder who we want to lead this country from January 7, 2025, because we have a man who has demonstrated with the least office given him, least in quote, as the vice president of the country, and what he has done with that to suggest to us that if given more, he would do exceedingly well with that office. Yes, this afternoon, the electronic bus, if you heard about it, that manifesto is alive in Ghana, it's working, and very soon, if you take the opportunity, you'll enjoy that, and it'll be cheaper. And more of it will lead to lower cost of transportation and cost of living overall in our country. Health infrastructure expansion. The Bawumia plan will enhance healthcare access to rural population, increase NHIS enrollment for underserved communities, and increase investment in healthcare infrastructure and services. That is key. And as most of you know, owing to my recent misfortune, I've become very, very interested in healthcare issues. And I think that Bawumia administration will be good for Ghana in terms of his investment in the healthcare sector. A central piece in ensuring access is the spirited completion of the Agenda 111 hospitals and the addition of significant numbers of CHIPS compounds and health posts to boost primary care access, especially in rural communities. Job creation initiatives. The Bawumia plan will address unemployment by creating millions of jobs through entrepreneurship, digitalization, ICT skills development, and industrialization. And I did mention earlier about the One District, One Factory. And also, those of you who are familiar with our manifesto, we've talked about it here at the previous press conference about the plan to create 1 million jobs in the IT space, which by and large will position Ghanaian youth globally to be able to access IT jobs right here in Ghana without necessarily having to move. Those jobs are available. What is necessary is the election of His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the deliberate investment to create those opportunities for our young people to take advantage of that opportunity that is already out there. Enhance social interventions. The Bawumia plan is committed to expanding the free SHS, as I indicated earlier, and livelihood empowerment against poverty to cover more vulnerable groups. And you know, I stand to be corrected on numbers, but since we came to office, we have expanded the LEAP program almost by 100% in terms of the payout and in terms of the numbers. And His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is committing to intensify that, not only in terms of the payout, but expanding the groups that should benefit from that program. But all in all, an understanding that the government must be there for its citizens, and Dr. Bawumia is committed to doing that for our country and our people. This initiative would include targeted support for women, children, and persons with disabilities. Gender empowerment. The Bawumia administration is committed or will be committed to gender equality, including promoting women in leadership and supporting female entrepreneurs through tailored financial and technical assistance programs. Expanded access to healthcare system. Dr. Bawumia's vision for Ghana's healthcare sector is to build an inclusive, technology-driven system that ensures equitable access to quality healthcare services for citizens, for Ghanaian citizens. His health policy will address the sector's long-standing challenges, such as inadequate infrastructure, staffing shortages, compensation, motivation for higher specialization, job satisfaction, and outcomes for patients. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's plan will significantly improve Ghana's healthcare infrastructure, access, and delivery. A cornerstone of the plan, again, I mentioned this earlier, is the Agenda 111, the unprecedented investment in health infrastructure this country has ever seen since independence. He would continue that investment and ensure that the health infrastructure base of our country is sound and solid to take care of our growing healthcare needs in the country, and perhaps set us up as a hub for medical tourism in the sub-region. The plan will add, just for your information, I'm sure you know this, the Agenda 111 plan will add 101 district hospitals and 6 regional hospitals in the newly created regions. When completed, they will provide high-quality healthcare at the district level to ease the pressure on tertiary hospitals like the Komfo Anokye's and the Korle Bu teaching hospitals, among others. And those of you who are conversant with these hospitals, the big hospitals, they have the pressure coming to them because most of the primary level hospitals are mostly not able to absorb that. But if you have a situation where we have all these 101 district hospitals come on stream, it would completely alleviate that burden on these big or tertiary hospitals to ensure that they focus on their teaching and research mandates. Modernization of existing facilities. Regional and district hospitals will be renovated and upgraded to provide state-of-the-art equipment and facilities for specialized care. The centralized electronic medical record system will be expanded to ease data management challenges and facilitate patient care and referral management. Establishment of new hospitals. The Bawumia plan will intensify the building of new hospitals, new health facilities to underserved communities. And I mentioned this earlier, mainly in rural areas, to reduce the travel time and cost associated with accessing healthcare outside their immediate environment. It will also deepen the provision of free maternal health care, child immunization, and nutritional support for pregnant women and infants. The provision of specialized centers of excellence. To reduce dependence on foreign medical treatment, the Bawumia administration will invest in specialized centers for advanced care, including cardiology, oncology, and nephrology. Focus on primary health care. Strengthening primary health care facilities to handle basic medical needs, thus reducing the burden on tertiary hospitals, just I just mentioned some of them, Komfo Anokye's, Korle Bu, and some of the regional teaching hospitals. This will deepen, this effort will ensure the deepening of digitization of the National Health Insurance Scheme to enhance access, eliminate fraud, and ensure timely reimbursement of service providers. Training and retention of health workers. Increasing investment in training programs for doctors, nurses, and allied health professionals. This initiative will offer scholarships and incentives to encourage specialization in high-demand fields and ensuring equitable distribution of healthcare workers across the country, particularly in rural and deprived areas. So the use of incentive and enhancing job satisfaction for medical professionals will be escalated and ensure that the environment is conducive and that they can stay and serve their communities for the overall health of our economy and our countrymen. Improve working conditions. To reduce brain drain, retain doctors, and achieve job satisfaction, the Bawumia plan will enhance salary and benefits for health professionals, including vehicle tax exemption, and improve workplace facilities to boost performance and morale. And I'm sure you are aware of these proposals in our manifesto. For the first time, medical professionals would have access to some exemptions in vehicle acquisition. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's vision to make Ghana competitive and take advantage of the fourth industrial revolution. The MPP's call for Ghanaians to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the next president of the Republic is clear in the bold solution summaries that I've just read to you under these 5 themes. We invite you, ladies and gentlemen, and all Ghanaians who are eligible to vote, starting 2nd December 2024, to vote massively for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the NPP's parliamentary candidates across the country, based on the relevance and the workability of these policies that I just read to you. And I invite you also to take advantage of the availability of our manifestos online to acquaint yourselves with the details in there and to assess for yourself how practical these are and make the decision based on facts, not on emotion, not on any of the threatening violence that the NDC is putting out there, but on sound ideas that are capable of transforming our economy to make Ghana the best place for us all to live and flourish. So, ladies and gentlemen, compared to the former president, John Dramani Mahama, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the best choice for Ghana and should be your best choice when you cast your vote on Monday. And most of you here, I'm sure you'll be voting on Monday. Please do that because it's beyond emotion. It is beyond like or dislike. It is a choice that you're making for yourself to be part of a decision that moves Ghana forward rather than regress our lot. And so I invite you as potential voters starting December 2nd, Monday, to consider your own interest, which is what Dr. Bawumia represents, and cast the vote for number 1, for President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the NPP parliamentary candidate, wherever you'll be voting. As I said, compared to the former president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is our best choice for these reasons. 1, Bawumia offers a superior policy solution for Ghana's next chapter. And so if you are voting, you wonder, what is in it for Ghana? What is it that the NDC candidate, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, saying that is compelling, that is practical, that is workable, that demonstrates from his record that he can actually do the things he's saying? And compared to His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who I just told you what he has promised to help reduce cost of living in our country in the form of introducing electric buses, he has done. That was commissioned today and it's on the streets. It's not a mirage, it's actually out there, you can see it. Compared to him, I offer to you Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is offering a real, relevant, and practical solution and workable solution, which are actually being delivered as we speak, to consider him for your vote on December 2nd, and on 7th if you are not voting on the 2nd. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, again, is a better choice because it provides an ingenious and a workable plan to sustain and build on the economic recovery we're experiencing presently. And if you listen to the NDC, nowadays they've acquired the habit of talking inflation. Now inflation is coming down, and they're talking about depreciation of the currency. We appreciate the difficulties that has brought to us as a people, but it's not for want of better management. It is not because the economy has not been managed well. It is practically because the whole world is hurting. The currencies up and down the globe are struggling. And if we're going to have a candid conversation in our country, it is nothing that this government has done that has led to the exchange rate faltering that we have seen recently. But the question I want to ask when you go to vote is, whilst the NDC is capitalizing on this misfortune and this hiccup, you ask yourself, what is their plan to reverse it? Assuming that you vote for them, what is in their plan that gives you confidence that they can reverse it? Right here, you have seen how this administration reversed the deterioration that took hold in 2022 and have actually stayed the worsening of the depreciation of the currency by coming up with an ingenious idea that has never been proposed, has never been tried. That is the Gold for Oil initiative that has succeeded in staying the strength of the city and ensuring that oil prices actually came down in our history. Growing up, when things go up in Ghana, they don't come back down. But we have seen it in our lifetime how the oil prices have come down. And it was as a result of the currency position and how fast the cedi was depreciating in 2022. But that ingenious solution has reversed it. So as somebody told me in an example, to say that if you are flying anywhere, you want to be sure that the person sitting in the cockpit understand what he's there to do and can actually do it. It is not a question of who you like or who you don't like or who can dramatize issues better, but it is ultimately so that you can have somebody who will get you to your destination. And my argument to you is that the NDC has not provided, they have not, one single evidence in their manifesto to tell you that this is how we are going to strengthen the city. They have not. The balance of it is English, turnover of words to create some impression, but in substantive, practical terms, in measurable terms, they have not offered any solution in that department. But I'll tell you that leveraging our gold, which is part of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's initiative, will help us arrive at that destination where, as a country, our currency will be stabilized and will be stable for long term. Because we have the gold and we'll use the gold to back our cedi, which he has demonstrated, and as president will give every effort to that policy to ensure that it actually takes foothold. Bawumia, again, is good for Ghana and must be your choice on December 7th, or if you're voting early on December 2nd, because he will protect and strengthen the free SHS policy, which by all accounts has been a successful initiative, has been a thoughtful initiative, has been a compassionate initiative, has been a right initiative. Barring whatever implementation challenges it has been one of the major interventions in education in our country, and it is good for our people, and it has facilitated the education of some 5.7 million Ghanaian students. And I think that we should do everything we can in our power on December 2nd and 7th to ensure the preservation of this policy for our own children, for our siblings, our nephews and nieces to participate or benefit from this initiative. Bawumia, again, is a better choice for us, Ghanaians, than the alternative, because Bawumia will expand healthcare access by completing the Agenda 111 projects, equipping and operationalizing them, and ensuring job satisfaction for all healthcare professionals. Bawumia is a better choice for us on December 7th and December 2nd and 7th, because Bawumia will be accountable to Ghanaians because he has 8 years allowable under the 1992 Constitution to be president. Therefore, he will necessarily deliver on these promises, some of which I have read to you, in order to merit your gifting him of a second chance when the time comes. Unlike the alternative, who has only 4 years to go, and later on I'll tell you about his own assessment of having 4 years and what you can do with 4 years. Bawumia, again, is a better option, and as I told you earlier, he's been described variously, but one of such impactful and perhaps relevant description of him, which comes from people's experience of him, is that he is a thinker and a doer. And much of these ideas that we've spoken about, most of them are very new and incisive ideas. Just how we can be able to arrest the depreciation of the cedi and be able to bring down fuel costs in our country. And it comes up with this Gold for Oil initiative, which has helped in the limited period of time, which has helped to earn Ghana about 2.79 billion in foreign exchange to settle our obligations. That is incisive. And beyond that, I want to just let you know, Ghana, you have heard growing up, and if you go to Obuasi and many of the mining communities, we have been mining in this country for forever. But our own balance of gold, our gold reserve, was just about 9 tons when we started the gold purchase program by the Bank of Ghana. Can you imagine that? A gold mining company, a gold mining country. And all our reserve is 9 tons. About 8.7 tons was what we had to our name. But gold is a prized mineral. All we had was 8.9. By Dr. Bawumia's innovation and policy idea, we have started the Bank of Ghana Gold Purchase Program. Our reserve has incrementally gone up, and I think that if with time, we'll probably become one of the countries in the sub-region with the highest gold reserve, and that will be good for our economy, that will be good for our currency, and that will be good for our collective prosperity. Dr. Bawumia, again, is good and better for Ghana because Bawumia's economic plan is designed to make the Ghanaian youth globally competitive through his focus on information technology, coding and programming, robotics, AI, and the Internet of Things. That is a future economy, and Bawumia's ideas would put the Ghanaian on the center stage and make us competitive. And one of the reasons for this is that the globe is trending that way. AI is taking over. If we make a mistake and elect the alternative, they have no idea, they don't believe in it. They don't believe in it, their ideas don't align with the trend of the globe. And as my deputy is just suggesting, you remember the kinds of things they are talking about. Small ball politics. They are saying things that will tickle your fantasy in a sense that not necessarily tickle in a positive way, but to make you angry, to incite you against a government that is trying to do the best. I submit to you that if indeed there were any reasons why I think that you should vote for the NDC, I'll tell you. Because ultimately, whatever good ideas they have, the implementation of it will help our country. But I can honestly tell you, this is no politics. This is not me trying to get you to vote for my candidate, the vice president, or our parliamentary candidates. But it's just plain truth that the NDC doesn't have it. They don't have it. Honestly, they don't. And you've been here. I've come here to tell you about their 24-hour economy. It's a great deception. Those who cannot keep the lights on for 12 hours say that they can give us 24-hour economy. It's a great deception. We shouldn't do that. The consequence of any election is enduring and in some cases generational. And we cannot afford to make this mistake. This is a pivotal moment for our country, and the decision we are going to make, we cannot take it personally. We cannot make it lightly. We should make it looking at the impact it would have on the future of our country and beyond. So I submit to you that Bawumia should be our choice. Bawumia means business, which means that he's better for Ghana. He would integrate the private sector into fiscal policy operations to deliver critical infrastructure, create meaningful jobs, and increase productivity. And most of us, we talk about roads, we talk about hospitals, talk about schools, and all of that. One of the ingenious ways Dr. Bawumia is proposing is that will include the private sector in the delivery of this infrastructure. And you know always, you pay attention to the budget. And if you look at government allocation for capital expenditure, they're often limited. How are you able to deliver all the infrastructure needs in any particular year with that limited amount of money? The one sure way to do it is to ensure that we engage in providing, in integrating the private sector to build these infrastructures, and they will leverage that for ensuring that we achieve the infrastructural deficits that are in our country and ensure our people are better off than they were before. Bawumia means jobs. Again, I told you about the 1 million youth project to train about youth in IT development skills and make them globally employable. There are many more reasons I can tell you why Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is better than the alternative John Dramani Mahama of the NDC. Simply because across this country, there is a general consensus among people that the Vice President, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has performed better in office than any Vice President in recent history. As stated earlier, Bawumia's initiative has led to Bawumia has initiated and implemented successfully about some 33 initiatives as Vice President, and I submit to you that as President, he will do exceedingly more than that. So ladies and gentlemen of the media, I am sure, permit me to be a bit more pastoral at this point, I am sure you recall the parable of the bag of gold in Matthew 25:14 through 30. I summarize for you: a master entrusted his wealth to 3 of his servants. He gives 5 bags to one, 2 bags of gold to another, and 1 bag of gold to the third. The first 2 servants doubled the gold and returned it to the master upon his return. The third servant went straight and buried the bag of gold in the field and returned it to the master when he arrived. You know the details in between. The master was pleased with the first 2 servants, but cast out the third servant into the darkness. Ladies and gentlemen, Bawumia is an example of the good and faithful biblical servant because he has served Ghana well and deserves commendation and reward. The master in verses 28 and 30 made the following declarations, and I quote, "So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have in an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them, and throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." I didn't say this is a Bible. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is an example of the biblical wicked and lazy servant who did not live up to expectation in his 4 years as president of this republic. Ladies and gentlemen, like the master in Matthew 25, Ghanaians must vote on December 7th, or maybe let me go back a bit. Like the master, we voted in 2016 to cast out John Dramani Mahama because he had not met expectation. But somehow in 2020, he thought that the verdict on him in 2016 was a flash in the pan. So he came again in 2020, and we roundly confirmed that our decision was absolute and clear in 2016. So again, we voted him out. He thought himself he didn't understand. He went to the court, didn't have any evidence, and he was roundly rejected. A unanimous verdict against his bogus claim, the petition, the 2021 petition, election petition, was roundly rejected, just like the Ghanaians. Now, in 2024, he's going to try us again. He's trying us again. And with all humility, I entreat us all to give the MPP a landslide victory in a way to retire the former president permanently from politics. We must reject former President John Dramani Mahama because His 4 years as president brought untold hardship to Ghanaians. We slept in Dumsor during those years. Businesses were destroyed. Youth employment broke world records, and the growing economy he inherited was collapsing by the time he left office. Most revealing is the fact that former President John Dramani Mahama gave up when his mismanagement made life difficult and Ghanaians demonstrated to demand better economic management. He said no amount of demonstration, and I'm sure you remember this, he said no amount of demonstration will move him because he was a dead goat. Ladies and gentlemen, the balance of a leader's job is dealing with challenges. But from what we have seen from the former president, he has shown that he cannot deal with challenges. Therefore, on December 7, we must vote to show the former President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC that we, the people of Ghana, cannot afford the risk of electing a president who cannot respond to our needs in challenging times. The former president did not perform well. This is essentially a matter known to all of us, and it's evident in the vote in 2016 and 2020. Did not perform well in office between 2013 and 2016. So he does not merit the reward, and given the scripture, we should not reward him. This is especially true when all he has is 4 years. And here's where I promised you I'll tell you about his own view about 4 years and what one can use it to do. He says 4 years is not enough to make a difference as a government. And so the question is, what has changed? The question is, what is it coming to do? The question is it now true that 4 years is enough to make a difference? Those are questions I know our former president cannot answer, which then goes to the heart of why we shouldn't vote for him, because he can't make any difference. He himself has said it, and it's a practical impossibility for him to do it. But rather, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has what it takes, has the allowable 8 years to be able to deliver in the first 4, to give a good account of himself so we can give him another 4 years. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, voting for the former president, John Dramani Mahama, will amount to taking Ghana back, and you and I cannot afford to take Ghana backward when our peers in the sub-region are striving forward. We, the people, as I just read to you in scripture, are the masters of Ghana's destiny. We've entrusted our powers in the former president before, and we are about to do so again with a choice between him and His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And the invitation is for you, based on his delivery in the first 4 years, and based on the scripture we have read, since he has not performed well, he deserves no reward. So on December 7th, your decision must reflect the wisdom of the parable we just read in the Bible, to reward the good and faithful servant of the people, being Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, with your votes, because he has shown the potential to do even better for Ghanaians as president. Finally, let me make the appeal to you as you vote on December 2nd, and most of us on December 7th, starting with the special voting. Please cast your ballot for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the NPP parliamentary candidates. That will be number 1 across all the ballots, in line with what you know to be true, what your expectations are, that when you give a piece of job to someone to do, those who do a good job, you invite again. Those who do a poor job, you will not invite. The verdict is clear on the former president's performance, 4-year performance in office. This is not me saying it. You and I, we voted massively in unprecedented manner to send him home. simply because he didn't perform. And I invite you that we don't reward him because he had failed us. He had not been a faithful, he's not been a good and faithful servant of the people of Ghana. So therefore, on December 7th, let's vote for the one who has been faithful, who has been good to Ghanaians. His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia should be your choice on December 7th or on December 2nd when you take the lead to vote in a special voting. Thank you very much for coming. Okay. So is there a need to do a summary for the version? Okay. All right. Mpenifo edamasi say enenso so mo abeka yensa na yenkuta wudi a ukwada bia ya de ba no. Na de no ye ka asam afa abato a eba em say juade ya yi no. Dodo na eba be start ye de. Na omo a mo wo central Germany mu no ene asrafo be di kan esan say December 7th no mono mbowo edwuma a mo be ye aboa abato ho nsem no enti ye ba ye say ene mo be di nkomo kane na yaka kire mo say mokotom aba no a montoma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia esan say no be boa Ghana echi ye mampeni dada Dr. Mahmoud Dr. John Dramani Mahama no ebe boa Ghana Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia be boa Ghana essaying John Dramani Mahama oye ye mampeni dada na enumu no di kan ebobo nyoma bi eso a pese ye nyina ye hweso ase nyiraso na ye de kwoto aba no the woman kwan a Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia so be fa so no making sure say esikasem ene enwumasem Ghana abetie gina mu prekope se dia Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo aban akrakra no a efi COVID-19 o say ye ni nyina mu abebeduru ne no o de nhyehyeye aba be fa kwan bi so na wotumi esiesie na esikasem esi na dada mu prekope se dia etie before COVID-19 eba ye no na wotumi esiesie no saa kwan no so de di kan de di mu ebio eye akwan a obefa so a make sure say Ghana ye school komu a ye ko school ye sua nkrata ne insano adwuma emu no wode hyehyeye bebre egu nkrata so a ya maka no brofo mu a no ebeboa Ghana papa ama ye ma ewie school se owie TVET school ni bia ono ankasa betumi esi ono ankasa astarte aye ono ankasa na adwuma ana so onya sika kakra ayeyi a obetumi astarte adwuma ansa no adwuma a obetumi aye de ahwe no ho ahwe ebusia wode nhyehyeye aba titru baako coding ne robotics ene AI ho nsem na me ka se ene ewiase adane nyoma bebre a ye he se me ka internet of things ene o phone betumi de nyoma bebre integrity applications ni nyoma o mu bebre ukọ America mamu a nkola etete Silicon Valley ukọ a ohye ne pajamas ene wa mo ane nan ene o te kona bi obewie at the end of the day no onya sika bebre eno na edigu phone so na ya download this application we near the Bob Brown Ghana but nkora ya Ghana fo nkola betumi aye na nyane ntiempo se presec for ebe commission some AI lab bia am say echina na say ne on be commission bibisa ebeboa ban no educational policy no eboa ama Ghana ene amaya aka no edi akoniaba na sensa wo so wo sa AI kanko yimu na aboa ama Ghana yenka yechi na yenso so etumi akoyenim enti no sa kwan no so no Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne MPP ne hyehyeye a deba se be reform education and TVET ne make sure say Ghana ni bia ade no ɛyɛ free dada ya making sure say obia betumi akɔ na Ghana ni bia nso so betumi enya adwuma ayɛ na aboa ama abusua ani agye enso ɔde nhyehyɛe bi nso so aba ɛbɛboa ama akuayɔ akɔso ama akua yɛyɛ na bia ɛyɛ small scale na expand na yɛ big scale farming commercial farming ɛbɛkɔ so Ghana ha wɔyɛ nhyehyɛe sɛ irrigation bɛdi mu akotene pa na abra farming yɛ nananom ayusu asɔ ne sekan no ne no bɛ make sure say investment abɛba no the mechanized approach and ɛbɛboa ama kuayɔ akɔ n'anim na ɔne a ɛyɛ akua no nso so no on the ska any financing any development bank of Ghana for any other financial institutions no ɛbɛboa ama ɔmatumi ɛde sika ahyɛ kuayɔ adwuma no mu the other bit no nso so ne sɛ asase na yɛdua mu aba no ebe make sure say ɛbɛfa abɛfo kwan so na make sure say yɛtumi adane no na aboa ama no bae na aba bebre na ekuayo no nso so ho aba mfaso hyehyɛ ba ko nso so a ɔde ba no ɛfrɛ no social development policies no ɛyɛ kwan a ban fa so etu sika bi si wɔ ɛde boa ɔne a edi dem anase ɔmo a bi a ɔmo anyini ɔmo a sikasɛm ayɛ ɔmo den no His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia so ba ɔma n'ani akɔ saa deɛ ne ho papaapa na wama sika akɔmu bebree sɛ ɛbɛyɛ a ahotɔ ɛbɛba ma Ghana ni bia nso so ani agye baako paa wɔ mu a ɛyɛ medɛ ɛyɛ rental assistance program no yɛnua no mu a ɔmawie university ɛyɛ bi a ɔte aflawo baabi anaasɛ ofiri other region bi ɛna waba Accra ɔba Accra na wɔnyɛ adwuma a yɛn nyinaa nim rent advance ni nyoma said ya si ha adwene no through this program no obetumi enya assistance a obenya loan a yedi betua ne rent na ma no na ono wetua ne nkete se be ya ebeboa ama otumi ahye abrabo ase the other initiative a ewo ho aya Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say ye to abama no December 7th ode beba ne se obetre ya pomudin ensemu ene se obe invest sika bebre ewo health sector na titru ne se Dr. His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo initiative and as a policy or dia ba se yensi 111 hospitals no wasi na ni be kon pa na ntentem so awotumi awie na hospitals no dodo no a edru stage a ahwekora enche bia na ya commission bebre enti no behwe se ska be ko ho na ya make sure se sa hospitals ni nyina a start edwuma na aboa ama yenye what district ni nkrase no yetumi enya access to healthcare enti we ayade a oso obeye na aboa ama Ghana fo nyina ho atoyen na eba oni a eye edwuma awo hospitals na pomden for edwuma pomden dwuma yefo no so make sure say or the incentives be bro mo scholarships so betumi akọ school na nyoma ni bi wo ho a den concerning ebia brain surgery ni brain surgeons ni omokosua de akodu sam pepe so no ya na take more time enti ya bebre na entumi enye nkowie san sikasem ene emredodo amode be etwen ya akwakowie sa level no but His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say so be president but making sure say we provide a lot of incentive in that direction now I'm making sure say omo a wakwenya ewo openo se ompese omo sua de produce am pepe so no bibia ensi omo kwan betumi support omo mama produce am pepe so no mana boa Ghana ama Ghana aba be ye krabehwe ama oni a ewo establish ha no ebetumi aba Ghana aba spray ayarehwe ewo Ghana no hyehyɛ ya His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia any bebre meant to me and can as a maka medical kind of brofumu or so the beba. Na ni nyina ko wie se da no December 7 ayekwakoto abano any only akoto no Monday dwada year no. Ye wonyo ma bi a pese mo hwe so ekoto abano. Ana edi kan aka bi no. Na ya chiche mo nketenkete se be ya o koto abano obeka kai sa ni o ma nyina. Na de ba kwa yesre ni se sa abatu a yakoi enya se me MPP ni aba na yakwakoto enya se me NDC ni aba na yakwakoto no can ho betumi adwene saa but dwene kane say abato a mekọ akoto yi mfa so ben na de bebre men mfa so ben na de bebre Ghana na abato a mekọ akoto yi omo a epre yemfa the two leading candidates NDC for the MPP for ne so ade hunu ben no mode aba saa ne so ade hunu no ya hwehwe mu akọ ekire no ebeboa ya na ase emboa ya wan de na beboa Ghana chain the yonko na ya sensini ya kire mu se Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia de na ebeboa the kaka say no krepa say NDC for e woni so ade hunu bi a ebeboa ma Ghana akọ nenim a metuma aka kire mu me nda adam because emre bi etwe mu na me America na mebu me kete mu aba Ghana me pese Ghana koso tanya sanka me America me ma Ghana se Ghana be koso nti na ya start side dey na NDC for say oh ya the baba spy amount for edwade some NDC for kai so enti e ba se ye ma Ghana ko enimu a NDC for e dey agrudi omo wi a makotena TV so aka nsem ya ka so ne we aye say you na this say be ya obu befu keke but obufu wie na obojo a condition na wo mu NDC for entumi sisa the Shabako say move from this Fourth Republic from 1992 basi now. Nasa 93 abani start here. Ushe basi now. NDC4 impact on our economy. I don't know, say you can just recite it off your head. They have not impacted us so much. And in a critical time such as this, no. My man nye akwajo, anas me nye say be a bufu. And I say me pewe, and I say matiwe, and I say at the end of the day, no, at the end of the day, no, the nia obedi enimu kanya Ghana benya faso kane necessary constitute the basis of a vote on December 7th. And ye ka say, ye share ideas are aba ya bobo hu abesi na manifestos ni nyina mu NDC ni MPP de no MPP manifesto eye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia vision no ebe boa Ghana chain NDC for edie sa kwan no so no yento aba ema His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia sa kwan no so say ye hwa na ye hwe meka say policy a omode aba so omode be boa Ghana mana koso a Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia de e wenim kra chain John Dramani Mahama ani ye sa ka biom say ye hwe bebi a ye wo sesi economy no ohawa ewiase afa na nyina economy efa mu a ede ohaw abre obi biara e wo wiase ha wan pa na ni so ade hunu ene hyehyeye a ode ba so obesesa ama economy na akoso a improve from bebi a ye wo sesi ano a ebeboa ma Ghana ye sikasem ejira ne na so na ye di yie no a ye hwa His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia policies na ideas ode ba no ebeboa wonim sa dia ye ka se flat tax no flat rate tax no ya dia ebeboa ama tax abafom na I make sure say tax compliance be increases tax compliance increase and kire say dodo na betumi a comply na kire say sika betumi aba aban futum na otumi dia adwuma asom Ghana for ye ka enso biom say Bawumia ebeboa Ghana chain John Dramani Mahama because ono na ye nipa ba ko a owa kansie mu a we sipi esa adwuma ono ankasa ye aboa free SHS amana ba be ya de e wo Ghana na eboa Ghana nkola we sipi se obeboa ama free SHS atena ho afibo na enye sampo nko a but o make sure say obe masika akomu more se be ya dodo na betumi atake advantage na aboa ama Ghana yenim ye papa John Dramani Mahama kasa emu no ompe free SHS ro nya akwanya senka opa nka oye wanye ye so kura no na ogina torchlight kasa omude advert kire so me nye free SHS na free SHS ye 419 omupeni miami former MP eka kire o TV so kukuduro so se free SHS 419 okay omo general secretary say see a oye fifi kweti ono ye mo general secretary nti wo hwe sa nipa yi a oti adwamu edandan nyoma so mbe wini power na o say free SHS 419 nipa we obeye so obeye anka wa opposu from the beginning nko bohu say adepa ade adepa de enye nne na be dane na say kira ya adepa de ya adepa efritete na ya adepa enti omunjindi Dr. Mahmood Bawumia kwa ana obetumi aboho ban na yapomudin insem nsoso a mede ebawi ye ne se Dr. Mahmood Bawumia se enjuma pa exercise na nado danko akufado asha ase no ene se we make sure say your hospitals no ebesi bebre aka ho a prekope ya start say ebesi 111 wase sa project no oba obehwe mantentem so a yetumi accomplete but NDC for no eba ometwem sa no mo ye President Kufuor Eurojet hospitals about 9 of them are inherited no o man complete back okura me no kasa ni man complete back okura o man complete ye na e buy na complete 6 of them 2 aya fere ka ho na sewia ka ho a enche bia no o ma commission sewia na say o ba be commission 500 bed afari hospital and 250 beds sewia hospital ba ko bibia e wo ho NDC for entimi an complete enti say oh yeah na ye the agenda 111 wa issue mo sa on be cancel number 1 ade no o say 4 years no to infa nye enti oba we di kai asre ye say ye man honeymoon enti say akọ eba nyina no wabre enti o wini a e mistake sa no a kwa akotra Dubai kakra aba America kakra ajojo no ho owi a ababa spend about 6 months aso wo si mesi koye minister we koye we best take another 6 months enti na first year ni de eko second year ave no mo trust say de na ye beye sabre no start ka so MPP for say no oh there yes no the propaganda sa onye hwe hute onye hwe we ye practical matter anya say bia asem say na de ba ko so a ewo mu eye very important say ye kan ni say Eda is excellency Dramani Mahama a mistake no we there. Saturday no the contest to replace him will start. The party ni mono because the nimso onko bio, mo party for nimso onko bio. Obia entie no party no beche say obia ba appointing say ko minister bia no or ko strategize aga so kwa mefa so aba. Kwa ba so meje sika na ma be contest. Kwa mefa so any amanfo akasa na metumi abaye flag bearer of NDC enya fe no mba baye dwuma bia enti sebebo a yentuma Dr. Mahmood Bawumia no mo ntena fie and resolve leadership matter so mo wie no mo de obi ba na Ghana fo bo bejo no so na ya to ba ma na yentuma no but 4 years ye de ma NDC fo a transition one block of time a say nyina ye to ya dwum de ka say sa 4 years we de hwe erinsi na nyoma omokekai omontumi nye hute me ka no kra na acha omontumi ye because 4 years no when you say a political cycle no say the city no first year o they appointed Nyama Nkrofo second year they started political cycles na political parties no are started a building from the grassroots police station Aba constituency omo the branch Aba constituency na Aba region na Aba national after they call flag bearer until the first 2 years or the better appointment in Tokwa Bebri. Second year, no, akwakoye political matter party no be antna office. On tna office kwa akoye juma. It is 4 years we ye Mr. the mind is for Ghana ya to ya say ya hon kra poto. Enti yenhye so na adano yankoto abama His Excellency Dr. Mahmood Bawumia na emwa Ghana. Na MPP abakosem de muni. Yanka say ya so abofo but ususu na wo hwe ne ye na wo ni di echire pa no a beka se Fourth Republic se nka MPP ambamu a nka Ghana enjina bebia ejina yi major plans of achievement aba Ghana no MPP ana tumi edi aba na democracy da ankasa mono central for munim democracy na yetimu Fourth Republic se nka nye MPP anka ene ka be ye papa Rollins ne military dictatorship na AD Ghana so enti yesre se abato yi ma yemfa nye akwadwo na meka atwa to no eye nsemo a ewo bible mu a ye nyina yekọ asori se yenkọ asori a yekọ mosque eni se yetie nyame bibia ye bia yepe akwankyere fi nyame ho ena me kire se bible ama example se obi a wodi nokure obi a wa sompa saa nipa no ene ye reward no amunyina munim saa asem no wo trekonkron ni mu a kire se openi bi a wotu kwan ene ogya no japade ede ma ne dwuma ye form yensa baako oma no 5 gold bags of gold na baako oma ne mienu na baako oma ne baako de oma ne baako no entumi amfa anye he mrumo ho na kotu amna edi hyemu amfa anye he ama eda ne master baaye no san kotu edi be share ne nsa but omo edi kai mienu no baako nya mienu baako nya 5 no e kire se aye adwuma ama enya ho mmɔho de onya 5 no enya 10 na de onya 2 no enya 4 na ne master no eni je no ho pa so abomoden se wanya kwadworo a oye adwumaden saanti no dia oye akwadworo no a oye His Excellency John Dramani Mahama me no wo 2016 ye pamo no the best pamo no bio na akwanya na wo ho Ghana for se ye de ma obi ma ye besom Ghana January 7th no ye fama His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia awodi nokure awaye dwumaden nam no so ene medical drone service ya make yi afe na Britain omo asusu se omo so beye bie ene ewia yi me ba no electric bus also de beba enam Ghana kwan so a eye adwuma abwa Ghana fo beboa bebre ama transportation cost abafom ama ye ho ahare saa nipa no na wasom Ghana sompa saa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no ena yesre se mo mbedi kan ato aba December 7th monto abama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia esan se oba no oba Ghana ba oba wo ba compared to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ono oba ono ankasa ne ba na bako semu e kire se ono nkwa na ye president fourth republic here wako only one term tinani bra ya bring nyina ne se ono so pese ye ka se ono so wonya second term misrewo na se obi butai ni na wehu a beto abama because the second term onya de na bese sa o bese sa bebre o no ano ho but ense sa hwe o ya brabo enti oba no amfa policy bia endi nechi akeka nkwa ana edi echire de ba atemdie adada akese a yenhu bi da se be 24 hour ko bisa no a na okọ ha bisa na so beba aninti oso won debate ye teda on ba debate da patapa on ba ma wuntie de opeso wo ye on ba ma wuntie ase se 24 hour economy no enye policy a se wo kofa ba e ade a wo be ye no and be lead to that inti dia na obeye amade 24 hour economy da ba o se da bi omba oba wo be che no to omba nti obeso ye no se ya ne yekoba sa yekoto aba na nyame mpengu onya na wonya na afa die wasi afa me nso menya second term diopani na wo enemy saade no emboaye kwa bia so enti this ready ne se yentoma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na asem bia wo ho ne o hawa abaga na ha no yenti ase se enye se MPP am manage economy ni ye enyina kai edena na yete 2017 2018 2019 answer covid by senkanya covid yare boni e baye ene edi echire Russia Ukraine war ebe ha adwene a nka enne Ghana ka be krabehwe enti yemfa saanti ase no na dwumaden a MPP aye ne osompa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ewo so de som Ghana no na yento abama no na sa ni so de hunu nyina no onfa nye dwuma na Ghana ntumpon na yenkyere NDC fo ne se ye penko so prekupe ye mpese ebekọ echi abra yafo ewo Sabridge ni nyina e press omkọ enim no ye nso so ye penko so They are Tuyaba, Duduo, massively for a landslide victory for His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And now Yama MPP so majority, near to me, our parliament, near to me as Ghana for Kwampaso. Damunina.
Yeah, thank you. I think that this morning you saw a reportage on the social media that they said that some MPP tasks have invaded, they have invaded Metro TV, attacking Rwanda and Kwasi Pratt. I think that it's not true. That a kachi, the medical kachi, no, na mababrofo. And then no said they see on Metro TV, no, a MPP for Nekoye. And now no pay police for investigation or my issue statement. And I think that many of you, the media people, have seen the police statement. And I will read the police statement to settle the matter. We will never do that. The MPP government and the MPP party will never do that. Until make police statement, you know, what they are banana, may they see police investigation incident on Metro TV premises. The Ghana Police Service has commenced an investigation into a recent that occurred at the premises of Metro TV in Accra this morning, Wednesday, 27th November 2024. Preliminary police investigation indicates that upon a request from the court, police officers accompanied a court bailiff in the company of the judgment creditor, Vodafone Business Ghana Limited, to execute a court order against Metro TV. Timinianum, they see one around the Abi Kasabe Breno, and your political party be an orchestrating the police invasion at Metro TV. It's a purely business transaction, and I think that the police service have issued the statement. We want you to communicate to the Ghanaian people that we will never do that. We will never do that. It is not the MPP that orchestrated it. It's not the MPP government that orchestrated it. And I think these are all scheming by elements of the NDC to just create disaffection for the MPP and our winning candidate who's winning the elections next week. He's winning one touch. And these are all antics and tactics of some propaganda media personnel. We have partisan political elements in this country, small opportunity, then they will not look for the facts, and then pure conjecture. So thank you all for coming. Director will take some questions. Meanwhile, we should wait for Mr. Asari. Time is fast spent. We have some interviews to conduct. So we take about two questions.
First of all, are there questions?
Yeah, if
I mean, your colleague said they're clear. I don't know.
yeah, please, your name.